Hello, War Child Warrior. It's Sunday, mid-afternoon, about 1:15, and I'm out here on a jog. I go for a jog with this little dog every day, and it's part of my little exercise routine, you know. And so I'm out here, and just wanted to talk about a few things. So y'all remember what I said about the V and CoV and gain a and the variants that keep popping up and why. Remember I talked about that? Well, as we all know, most of us anyway, there's another new variant that popped up today. Go look that up. Anyway, so I talked about in another video previously, two others, about, why these variants just keep popping up and, why they don't stop, why this is not stopping. And, this is more proof of what I said and, what I was talking about. As long as people keep going to get the V's, then these variants are going to keep popping up. It won't stop. It's not going to stop unless people start to understand the real, true science behind all of this. So just keep that in mind. Now, on to something else, and we may come back to this topic here in a minute. It's all kind of related to each other in one way or the other. But did you know that for every positive diagnosis, a patient at any given hospital, anywhere in this country, that hospital gets 50 grand for that patient? And that's not per hospital I'm talking about. I'm talking about per patient. For every positive diagnosis, that patient will create a revenue for that hospital, 50 grand per patient. So, is it no wonder why they want these positive diagnoses to keep coming in, and why these hospitals keep, they keep the ball rolling? They want these positive diagnoses. That's 50 grand per person. So why would they want that to stop? That's all I'm saying. Yeah. It's no wonder that this shit is just it's like a snowball going down the side of a mountain. It's just getting bigger, and it's going faster, more intense, more ground shaking, because of these little tiny facts that are all jumbled in there with a bunch of bullshit. And so, it's hard to even know what's what anymore. But if you sift through enough bullshit, you will find the truth, and you will see the forest for the trees. But you gotta sift through a lot of crap to get to it. But when you find these little gems, it really kind of makes you understand. It's an aha moment. Wow. You start connecting these dots and putting these gems together, and you start seeing the bigger picture, the full picture. And yeah, all the conspiracy theories and all the stuff that, you know, all the things that we have been called, and all the, you know, all the things that we are labeled, all that shit goes right out the window, because now we're all on the same playing field, all on the same level, you know? The rich and wealthy are now out here on the streets with us. So it's like, yeah, the true understanding starts to really take place. And that's good. We need more of that shit. Because right now there's too many people that just don't understand. They think they got it all figured out. And when you try to give them some truth, you know, you get labeled a racist, a fucking bigot, conspiracy theorist. You know, you're spreading fear. You're creating panic and fear porn, and, you know, you're doing a disservice, and, you know, you can't come in here, and you can't go in there, you can't do this, and you can't do that. You know, let me see your papers, please. Yeah, so, and that's all because, you know, they don't, the people that have been asleep, you know, they don't want to be woken up. They don't want, they're too afraid to wake up to the real world. It's like that movie, The Matrix with Neo. You know, he wakes up in that fucking pod, in that fluid, and he realizes, wow, this is the real dark, terrible, fucked up world. All that other shit I was living in, that's just the Matrix. That's just a facade to make me comfortable and complacent. So people don't want to, you know, come out of that. They like the comforts, so they want to stay in there. Well, I'm here to shatter all that because, you know, hey, you need to know the truth. Now, you know, once you have that information, if you choose to just continue to be a zombie and be complacent, well, then that's your choice, okay. But at least you know now that you've been wrong and duped, like we all have, you know. And it's just, it's a drag, you know. And, you know, I'm sorry to be the one to piss in your cereal, but, you know, facts are facts, and, you know, and it's just, even if you don't have the facts, you got to scratch your head, and, you know, it's puzzling to you know, hear what they're saying, right? All the things that they're telling you, Dr. Fake Ass and everybody else, you know. And it's like, well, if what they were saying was true and real, and it was in fact, you know, the real deal, and it was in fact getting better, then why hasn't it gotten better? So, you know, even if you're not that smart of a person, you can sort of see and understand that, wow, it's all about the money, you know. It's all about keeping big pharmaceuticals, you know who I'm talking about, keeping them rich, keeping their pockets fat, and, you know, any way that we can help them stay on top, they're interested. They're in that game. Anything that takes away from that, they have no interest in it. So, you know, whatever horse pill you're willing to swallow and willing to believe, well, then that's going to be the airplane or the bridge, the vehicle that gets us there. Gets us to where we need to be for them. So I'm just telling you, you know, it's kind of odd to me that this stuff just keeps popping up, and everything they said, you know, ever since the beginning, how many times has it changed? You know, in the last 2.5 years, you know, nothing has gone away, stopped, or slowed down, or changed lanes. Like I said before, you know, it's speeding up, getting faster, getting harder. Harder to live, harder to breathe, harder to be free. And so, you know, the proof is in the pudding. You know, there can only be one true, real science. You know, And then everything else is just opinion or theory. So what, so it's up to you to go find, like like a guy with a metal detector. He's out there on the sand, he's looking around. He might go hours and hours without fucking finding anything. And then all of a sudden, beep, 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 beep. Yep, there's a little bit of truth. We got to uncover it. We got to undig it. Come on. And then we got to spread it around and show other people. Hey, look, guys, this is real. This is what's been going on. So imagine it like, like that. Just go around with a truth detector and, listen out for those little beeps. And, because when we're not hearing those little beeps, we're hearing a lot of bullshit, right? A lot of stuff that is just crap. And it's like, well, if you're in the know, and that's why, it's important to support and follow, truth channels, Watchmen, and you got to, like that, with everything else, you got to sift through it and find the ones that are lying, the ones that are just putting out false information, and the ones that are actually out there to give you some helpful hints on how to do this or how to do that, and some tips on real prepping, real tools that you can use. Because with like everything else, there's it's mixed in there. There's a whole lot of bullshit and a very little bit of truth, and it's in there with that, in a big bucket of sand. You got to fucking sift through it, and every once in a while you will find a gem, but most of the time it's just gonna be cold, wet, fucked up, gnarly sand, and that's all right. It's all right, but these things, 50 grand per positive diagnosis. That's a lot of money. Cashola, clams, bread, cheese, cheddar. Let's say there's a hospital that can house 500 up to 500 patients or 1,000 patients. Some hospitals are ginormous and they can hold up to, a couple of thousand people. Some are small and only can, house up to 500 or, something, a couple of hundred. But let's say whatever the case is, there's one of these hospitals and, hey, they got 500 patients in there. Each patient, positive diagnosis, 50 grand a piece. How much money is that hospital getting? Or, you know what? Should I rephrase that and say, how much money is big you-know-who getting? Because let's be honest, a lot of those nurses and doctors and hospital staff and personnel, if they weren't fired, they quit because of the damn, everything. Mandates and, you got to do this and you got to do that. So if there is any other personnel, medical staff working there, they're not the ones actually, benefiting from any of this, are they? No. But we know who is. And so, if that's happening, then what isn't happening? What isn't happening is people aren't getting help. People with real issues and real needs, they're not getting help. Because remember how we heard about how all these hospital beds were filled up and they were just overflowing with numbers, and I was just like, oh my God, yeah, right. And then we saw all the footage of all of the hallways and the lobbyways of these supposed hospitals that were, completely overflowing. And what did we see? Do you remember? What did we see? A lot of empty gurneys just hanging out in the hallway. A lot of empty hospital rooms. Maybe a few elderly here and there. A kid with a bloody nose. Typical, normal, everyday shit at a hospital. Nothing was what they were saying it was. We saw the footage. So, again, that's just another strike against them, another thing that they were wrong and lied about, another thing that we were right about, another thing that we tried to talk about and tell people about. And, like I said, it's all this stuff can be proven. If you just look back, go back, make them eat their words, look at the footage of them saying these things, and then, current time today. Oh, look, yeah, they're totally backpedaling on what they said a year ago. Oh, look, we have footage right here totally contradicting what they said. Oh, look, and it's just on and on and on. All day with this stuff we could go. I'm just here to tell you guys, we really need to start understanding why this stuff is happening and why it just won't stop. Because it's not what they're telling you it is. The way to make it stop, it's not what they're saying. And until we understand that, we're going to help them keep this ball rolling. Have a nice afternoon and evening. I hope all of you are well. Stay safe, stay free. Keep God in your hearts, whatever that means for you. I love all of you, and I thank you, and I appreciate you guys so much for all of your support, man. I really do. All the comments and the thumbs up. And I care about all of you, I care about you guys. And I care what happens or doesn't happen. So, I just want to help. All right. Take care. War Child Warrior out.